Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Smoking Clouds. My name is Richard, and I'll be your host. Thank you for joining us. And this is the first episode, so basically my idea for this would be review cigarettes or vapes, vape oils, let people know what I think of them, what my opinion is. Maybe toss in a business tip that I think might be useful for some people, and maybe a couple of interesting world events, in my opinion. If you disagree, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, let's get right to it. Right now, I'm smoking a Belmont. Now, Belmonts have a charcoal filter. This particular pack cost me $16.50 tax in. And I would rank it on a mid-grade of pack for the tobacco. It's not too loose, it's not too tight. It's right in the middle. It's a pretty nice smoke. As I understand it, Belmont is a subsidiary of Benson & Hedges, a fantastic tobacco company. Yeah. And that's also why I'm doing this outside. Anyways. Another interesting thing about these, they have an extra long filter so you can actually adjust how much of a filter you get. So if you want a little bit of a rougher smoke, you can cut it off or not. Honestly, I like them. But if I had to be honest with myself, I'd have to probably give this cigarette a 6. It's not my favorite brand. It's not the worst brand. It's a premium brand, so it's a little bit more expensive. Like I said, it was about $16.50. Charcoal filters, that's better than fiberglass, and it's not as squishy as cotton. And from what I can tell, you're not getting as much yellow stains on your fingers when you smoke through a charcoal filter. So Belmonts are a very good smoke in my opinion. But again, 6, 7, maybe 6.5 out of 10. All depends on your preference. It's a good all-rounder smoke, but again, on the more expensive side. As I don't currently have a vape, I can't test any vape oils right now, but I'll be getting one next week. So hopefully we'll be doing that next time. As for the business tip that I wanted to let everybody know about, Chorus Entertainment, stock market symbol of CJRB. This is a non-voting class share. It's a class B share. Right now it's ranked at a 9.5% earnings per share per year. And how that happens is through dividends, which are released once a month. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest a stock that I wouldn't buy myself. In fact, I just recently started my stock portfolio. It's at about 75% CJRB. And I'm at about a $20 a month dividend because of this company. I'm about, not very much, about $2,000 in shares. About 200 shares, give or take. But honestly, it's a good company. They just recently acquired Shaw Media in quarter 3 of 2015. I don't know if you guys want to see me smoke. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good purchase for that company, I feel. They also own about approximately 40 radio stations throughout Canada, as well as some very major TV channels, such as Showcase, History Channel, Teletoon Network. That includes Adult Swim as well. And I don't know if I said Showcase, but also Movie Time and Nickelodeon Canada. Now, Nickelodeon Canada is one of the biggest providers of child and teen programming for TV, and that's a pretty big deal. And right now their company, after that acquisition of Shaw Media, is focusing on deleveraging, as well as it sounds like in the last investors meeting that I listened to, that there's going to be a resurgence of the Powerpuff Girls in conjunction with Cartoon Network in the States. This is very exciting. I think it has something to do with Dexter's Laboratory being restarted as well. So if those two things are connected or not, please let me know in the comments section. I'd be more than willing to, correct myself. This looks like a very good stock in my opinion. And your potential for growth is pretty high and risk is pretty low. And the price usually fluctuates between $12 and $14, so it's not even that expensive. Now for world events, just chose 3 today. Trump leads in polls today, according to Nate Silver. Nate Silver is a guy about 1 to 2 months ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, he said 79% chance of a Hillary victory in the general election in the United States. Today he said if the election was held, there would be a 53 to 57% chance of Trump winning. As we know, this is not a very good thing. Trump's a very Hitlerish person. He's called for the I wouldn't say genocide, but the almost segregation of the Islamic population in the United States, as well as banning them from entering the countries. That's not something I agree with. I don't think that would be very good for their economy, especially since they're just coming out of that 2007 crash. And although Obama did a great job bringing the recovery back around, I don't think building a giant wall between one of your largest trading partners, Mexico, to keep immigrants from leaving, I guess, because more people leave the United States into Mexico than come into Mexico, as I understand it. So, yeah. And like the old saying says, show me a 15-foot wall and I'll show you a 16-foot ladder, not to mention tunnels. So that whole plan seems like a moot point. I don't even know how he's going to get Mexico apparently to pay for it, other than maybe declaring war, which is insane. So, yeah. But he may win the general election in the United States. There's actually a very good chance of that. About a week ago, the first rebel group to declare allegiance in Brazil to ISIL became public. There was 12 subjects arrested for conspiracy to commit an act of terrorism in the Rio Olympics, which start on August 5th. This is a very scary fact. This is possibly the first penetration we know of across the Atlantic Ocean. Again, this is a very scary idea because Brazil's really just a hop, skip, and jump away from the United States, Canada, North America, their primary targets. And if they are able to hit America on their native soil, this would be very bad. We're looking at a possible another 9/11 with the way that they're going to react. Because who knows what their foreign policy? I don't even know what their foreign policy. It's pretty crazy. I mean, they're in war in 7 countries. They're actively assassinating people in 7 countries with drones. But that's all I know of. Maybe even more countries, who knows? And the third thing I wanted to bring up is Canadian regulators are currently doing some housing pricing testing for the banks to make sure that we're not going to be hit with a giant real estate bubble if the major real estate markets see a price drop of even just 30%, but they're doing tests between 30 and 50% in these markets. These markets include Vancouver and Toronto, some of the more pricier areas to buy housing. Also, it looks like the results of this test will be affecting policy changes in November later this year. And this will have effect on leverage ratios and the amount that insured mortgages will be on the books for the banks. I don't know if it's going to affect the big five or just small banks or medium-sized institutions. I don't know. I'll be digging up some more information on this. I feel like there could be some hit to this. So anyways, hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good night. And remember, my friends, stay thirsty. Because if you're like me, you love scotch. Johnny Walker Red. She's cheap, but damn, she's beautiful.